Get ready, BD.
Whether you are buying a Christmas present for yourself or for your fellow Star Wars fans, this is the video for you. Today we're going to be breaking down excellent gifts for your fellow Star Wars people in your life. Star Wars always kind of has this magical vibe around Christmas time, and I think it's because we used to get movies in December and stuff like that, but I think it's deeper than that because Star Wars themes relate really closely with Christmas themes, I feel, and so the two just pair nicely together, which makes Star Wars things excellent gifts. And also, I don't think there's a brand that nails capitalism and merchandising quite as well as Star Wars. I mean, we remember when Grogu became a thing. He was on literally everything. And the kind of gifts I want to touch on today, they're not going to be like their standard things. Like, yeah, we'll talk about lightsabers, we'll talk about helmets because that's a huge part of Star Wars merchandise, but I really want to dive into the smaller, more unique gifts that you can give someone that might be a little bit more memorable or stand out to them a little bit more. The first thing on this list is shopping from small shops. Some of my coolest Star Wars things ever are from independent, third-party shops, like not officially connected to Star Wars. For example, one of my favorite Star Wars shirts is this kind of tattoo style Jedi Fallen Order shirt that I got from Imperial Merch Co. This is not officially branded Star Wars merch, but it's really cool, and I don't think you'll find anything like it anywhere else. Other good small shop clothing brands are gonna be Only Hope Supply, Vintage Point, even though he makes mostly Marvel stuff, his Star Wars stuff is pretty cool as well. On top of that, you're supporting small individual creators, so your money's going to something that I think is gonna matter a little bit more in the long run. Little things like a BD1 hat. You know, I got this from Hans Pins on Etsy, and it's just a really cool little hat, man. It's got a little BD1 and a little question mark because he likes to ask questions. But my point being with the small shops is that it's stuff you're not gonna find in major department stores. It's stuff that's unique, and people will come up to them and be like, hey, where'd you get that from? And it just kind of has a little bit more of a story to it, and you're supporting an individual creator, which is just way better. Continuing on this small shop thread, all these props that you see around me, like this BD1 right here, this guy, this little cutie, this pink poncho back here, it's all from my good buddy Nick at CGS Props, and he is just one of many prop makers and little Star Wars knick-knack creators out there. And again, like, you can't just go to Target and pick up a custom pink poncho. Like, it's just not a thing. I think if someone gave me a pink poncho for Christmas, I would probably lose my freaking mind. I think these kind of props and Star Wars things make so much better gifts because they're handmade. They were created by someone, not a factory or, you know, a machine line. I think it's just more unique. It's a more specialized gift, and I think that's what makes a good gift. Now that we've talked about small shops and individual creators, let's talk about more of the mainstream Star Wars stuff like helmets and lightsabers, because helmets are one of those things that have really cost-effective options and then really expensive options. We're gonna break those down right now. So when someone says they want a Star Wars helmet, I normally tell them Black Series because they are really well done for only about $100 to $120 depending on the character. This Darth Vader one I got at a Disney park. I think it was like $130, but I think this is probably their most expensive helmet. It's freaking sick, okay? It's freaking awesome.
That's what I'm saying.
Helmets are a major, iconic, standout part of Star Wars. These designs are what makes Star Wars in a lot of ways. And so having something like this in someone's collection is freaking cool. They will love you for it. And also, this thing is like way too large for my little head, but you can put this on. Like, this one specifically splits up. You get all of these details under here, which is freaking awesome. This comes off. It goes around your neck like a Sith Lord choker, and then this comes on. Ooh. I'm literally, but again, going with a more personalized gift, you could also make your own helmet for them. Going back to Etsy and small shops, CGS Props, people like him, they sell handmade Star Wars helmets. This one I made myself. I bought a 3D print of a Mandalorian helmet and then turned it into a Mandalorian commando from the Clone Wars. If you're crafty and you're good at making things, This is really cool because you'll be able to put your own spin on something that you worked really hard on and gift it to someone, and they'll be able to enjoy your craftsmanship and your skill, and maybe use it for a costume or just a display piece. Hasbro and companies like that, they don't always make characters that you want. And like they haven't made this helmet, for example. So if whoever you're buying a gift for, you know, likes a very specific Star Wars character, make the helmet. And again, you can buy just basic 3D printed helmets for like anywhere from 60 to $100. So cheaper than Black Series, but of course you do have to put the work in. And the same thing goes for this one that I made. Boom. Now I'm literally trying to kill Duchess Satine. It's crazy how that happened. And of course, an absolute staple of Star Wars is gonna be lightsabers. These obviously make for excellent gifts because lightsabers are like the Star Wars thing. My only objection to this is that they can get expensive really quick, and depending on the quality you wanna give, you better have that wallet ready. The next really cool gift that you can give to another Star Wars fan are collector-based books, things like magazines. And these are the gift that keeps on giving right here. There's all kinds of great pictures and articles and great cover art to display. They just make for great gifts because one, they're limited edition, so like Star Wars Insider, they only do, you know, one cover, you know, for a couple months at a time, and then it's gone. I also have this great George Lucas in the Making of Star Wars, just an excellent cover. And like I said, all kinds of just knowledge in here. And after all, what is a better Christmas gift than knowledge? Think about that. You are literally making someone smarter this Christmas if you get them one of these. Just a thought. Another one of my favorite Star Wars books is this absolute monster. This thing weighs like 30 pounds, and it's called Star Wars Blueprints. It's essentially the blueprints of all the sets and models that they made while making the films. So it covers the original Star Wars movies from 1 through 6, and it's breaking down how they built each individual set piece, things like vehicle models. There is a whole section in here on how they built the model for Jabba's sail barge in Return of the Jedi and how they blew it up. It's just freaking cool. Books like these make excellent gifts because it's something they can enjoy for a long time as they read through it, or you know, if they're a display person, it makes a great thing to put on your coffee table. So another thing to think about. The next thing I want to talk about is a new Star Wars card game called Star Wars Unlimited. This is a new card game that just came out in March of 2024. And they also just released a new set centered around the Clone Wars last month in November. So it's relevant, it's recent. Also, board games and card games are something that are really underused nowadays. So this can be something that could be a lot of fun to play with, like with friends and family and stuff like that.
Make it about you. Make Christmas about you.
This is my Ahsoka Tano deck. Obviously, she's my favorite character. You basically build a deck of about 50 cards, and the first person to destroy the other person's base wins the game. It's simple, it's punchy, it's fun, it's a great gift. They make starter sets that you can buy for like $35. And they come with 2 decks and everything that you need to actually just play the game. So highly recommend picking up one of those and getting into Star Wars Unlimited. It's awesome. They also make other things than cards, like these mats that you can play your game on. My current favorite is this Mando one with the Darksaber. I mean, look at how sick that is. I bet you wish you had this right now, actually. I bet you did. You're jealous. But yeah, Star Wars Unlimited makes for a great gift. Really fun game to enjoy with friends and family. The next thing I want to talk about is actually really fitting for the theme of Christmas, and that is tree ornaments. My Nana gets me a Star Wars tree ornament every year, and I love it because she gets me some freaking sick ones. My favorite Christmas tree ornament of all time is this little Darth Vader helmet, and when you press a button on the back.
Your powers are weak, old man. This will be a day long remembered. The Force is strong with this one.
I mean, how cool is that? Literally every time I walk past the Christmas tree, I
have you now.
These just make for awesome gifts because you can put them on your Christmas tree and look at them all the time. And then on top of that, when you pack them away and then bring them out the next year, you look at the ornament and you're like, oh yeah, so-and-so gave me this. That was a great gift. And our final thing, in true Christmas fashion, we're getting all sappy at the end. The final thing I want to talk about is actually not a thing, it's a memory or an experience that can be had. Last year, one of my oldest friends got me and my brother tickets to go to Galaxy's Edge with her for a day. And it was just one of the most fun days ever as a Star Wars fan.
All right, we just rode the
We just got Slinky now.
Slinky. We got Slinked. I really hope that doesn't have another meaning. What do you rate it out of 2?
Honestly, I love the atmosphere of that one, so I gave it a 2 out of 2. 1 for fun, 2 for fun.
All right, Noah, what about you?
Out of 2?
No, out of 3.
Oh, out of 3. Well, I would probably rate it a 3 out of 3.
Because
I like the atmosphere. The voice actor's pretty good, and also 1 point because I pooped myself. Oh, I forgot to say I pooped myself.
Things like this stuff is really cool, but memories and experiences that you can share with someone else are worth so much more in the long run. But also, there's a lot of things you can buy at Galaxy's Edge, so if you're materialistic like me, then it still works. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope I gave you some great ideas for you to go and get some Star Wars gifts for your friends or family members, and I hope they really enjoy them, because I certainly would. I hope you guys have an excellent rest of your day, and Merry Christmas, and may the Force be with you. Always.
When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master.
Only a master of evil doth.
Your power is a weak old man.
Hey!